Learn more at high-electric.com.
Our lives only have so much time. But if you smoke, you have less. Your life could be 10 years shorter. And the time you do have is often filled with health problems. Shortness of breath, asthma, COPD, and cancer. But the minute you quit, your body starts healing.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Steve's Garage Doors and Services is hiring. They are looking for a garage door installation and service technician with a clean driving record. Experience is not required as they will train for the positions. However, mechanical aptitude is required. If you want to come be a part of a small business where you're family, not just an employee, call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today to apply at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840. Steve's Garage Doors and Services.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $20 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Sunday morning. It's quiet, not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk Beatrice Baker's breakfast breads. Now, maybe an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online, BeatriceBakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Is it time to replace your AC? Call Bryant and save money in every way. Bryant provides you with solutions that save. Save big immediately with attractive rebates and save every day with lower operating costs. Most important, though, the systems are selected to fit you. The right system, priced right, properly installed. That's the way Bryant works for you. How much can you save? Call for a free estimate. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and up to date at GainaTrucking.com.
Some kids worry about making the sports team. Others worry about where they'll sleep tonight. In Lincoln, 300 kids are in need of a safe and loving home. Cedars is here for them, but we do need your help. A gift to Cedars makes an immediate impact on Lincoln's kids. And on Give to Lincoln Day, your gift goes even further. I'm Jim Blue, president of the Cedars organization, and I'm asking you to go to givetolincoln.com to make your gift to Cedars and support Lincoln's kids today.
A lot of businesses say that they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business feels anything but for your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, as they do with customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Sunny skies, warm temps yet again here for our Monday. We'll see an afternoon high near 84. Winds out of the west at around 10 to 15. Overnight mainly clear, a low down to around 58. We'll see increasing clouds tomorrow and a chance of some showers and thunderstorms with a high back near 80. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big Eight.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strickland.
Yes, it is. Happy Monday. Welcome to the show. I'm Austin Norman, joined by the Husker Hall of Famer, the 9-year NBA veteran, Mr. Eric Strickland. Popping in the yellow today.
Popping in the yellow. Sun shining. Stricky shining too a little bit. I'm feeling really good, man. I got some great rest. Had a great time. It's always a great time. My friend and our friend of the block, Terrence Badgett, we got to hang out a little bit this weekend, watch some games, play a little bit of dominoes. Had a really good time. Glad the storms didn't kill us and hit too hard on us. They hit and passed over, so that was good. But a beautiful day today, Austin. It's Monday, Manic Monday.
That it is. Full week of content coming up for you here on the block, 2 to 4 every weekday here on 93.7 The Ticket. Streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Free to follow. Free to turn your notifications on to make sure you don't miss anything going on here at The Ticket. Also free for you, ways to get in touch with us at Twitter, at estrick20 and at Austin_Orman, or the Starter Heyman text line. It's probably the best way. We catch that the most, 402-464-5685. Any thoughts that you might have, send them our way on the text line. Before we get going, I do have to thank Mary Ellen's as well, sponsor you see in the bottom corner of the stream. Don't just see it in the bottom corner of the stream. Get there. Not today, not tomorrow, Wednesday. Get there.
Wednesday, absolutely. Quick, also want to give a good shout out to bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling. Henry Cejudo had been out for, I don't know, like 1,000-something days. A long time out of MMA. Comes back, gets a shot. He's one of the toughest, a 4-time champion, and then also a multi-divisional champion. But you can't discount the champion. Like I saw some of the fight. He hurt him a couple of times, Sterling, but the heart of a champion continues to endure. He fought through. He's one of the best. You gotta stop fighting him at this point. He's been there a long time. So shout out to him, because the reason I wanted to reference that as well, because DP happened to find himself going out there and enjoying the festivities of and if you've never been to an MMA fight, Austin, or any of our listeners, I would advise you to go. It is a spectacular event, and I'm talking about people from all across the world. I will say the best one that I got to see, if you're an MMA fan, the best one I saw was when John Bones Jones fought, and it almost lost to Chael Sonnen, the first one. And I was out there. I went to all the pre-fight stuff. This is at the time when Zions was sponsoring, and so I actually got to go down underneath and meet with all these guys. It was a phenomenal time, and I would advise you to go if you get an opportunity to go see a MMA fight.
That's just a world I know so little about in sports. The boxing, MMA, UFC, any of it, I just don't understand. But from DP, everyone that I've ever heard has been to one of these.
Yeah.
It's a great event because there's so much going on, just the pomp and circumstance around it. Because, Strick, I am so used to, the rhythm of football where you play every week, basketball every few days, baseball you're playing every night. But these are events, like, these are people's careers on the line every time they step into that ring, that octagon, whatever, modus you're going to be fighting in. Just having stakes that high every time you step in the ring, that would have to make the event that much better.
Yeah, and I would also say, before we move on to the next topic, or either hit a break, I would also have to say that I find it interesting, even more so than boxing, because I think boxing went through some years. After Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, and those crews, especially at the lower divisions, it went through a phase where I was seeing boxers, like, for example, some people may not like him. I think he's a technical boxer like crazy. Floyd Mayweather, for example. Very, very good technical. But there was a fight that he had fought early on in his career. I think it's marred. And I think there's a few of them that you could say he probably lost. But this one between him and Sweet Pea, Pernell Whitaker, when he was still kind of in his prime, I think that broke him because he knew he won that fight. Like it was won. And so I think boxing to me got to a point, Austin, where I was just very disappointed. It seemed like they were just kind of pushing certain guys through, even though they may not have had great outings. It seemed kind of had a corruptness feel to it. And I lost the savor for it. And I think that's when I shifted over to the MMA because it was authentic. It was like, you had to be multi-skilled. Some guys could get so far. And I think that applies across all spectrums of sport. I think at some point, you're going to get to a point where people are going to figure you out. And you have to become better in some way, some form, reinvent yourself. And I think, like, for example, I think that's what happened to like Des Bryant. For so long, he was such a physical specimen, so dominating, just didn't have the speed, but he could just beat you with physicality in so many different ways. And then it caught up with him. And you have to reinvent yourself. And I don't think sometimes players don't. And this is what I think makes, guys like Michael Jordan great. Even LeBron, because his athleticism for so long, and he had to develop a jump shot. So yeah, that's just part of it.
You see that across sports, whether it's LeBron adding a jump shot, it's Des Bryant working to add some speed, something like that. Or, baseball, you have a guy that's used to throwing 100 miles an hour. Can't do it by the time he gets to his mid-thirds. He's got to develop that secondary pitch. He's got to get better at location.
Or hitters.
You're
a pull guy.
Pull.
Yeah.
Can you sit back, take the fastball the other way when you can't catch up to it? That's where I think Bruce Lee is right and wrong. He'd rather, face someone that's practiced 10,000 kicks once rather than one kick 10,000 times. Like, yeah, you got to practice that one kick 10,000 times, but there is also value in being able to diversify your portfolio, be a little bit unpredictable, regardless of the sport you're playing.
And that's what I love about sports is it's such a great educator. I think it's an educator in life. I think it's an educator across spectrums, not just in the sport. I think sports taught me so much more about life, about business, about being integrity, about family, about work ethic, about so many things. And I tell kids in school all the time, I'm like, listen, not everybody likes school. I didn't like school. No, not most people don't.
You ain't go to school to play school?
Yeah, you know what I mean? No. But again, as we talked about just a little bit earlier, a lot of what school taught me helped me in sports to be good and great and work and to be better. There's a lot of lessons also in life that I was able to learn and apply. How to relate, how to work with somebody you don't necessarily like, how to deal with coaches that don't. That's the same thing as dealing with a boss that you don't get along. I mean, it's all these different elements that sports taught me about because you have to learn how to navigate those systems in different parts of your life.
That you do. Any life lessons that you learned from sports, text line, drop them on us. We'll keep sharing that wisdom throughout the show. On the stream on YouTube, Brandon sets up our next segment perfectly. Lakers, double exclamation point. That's where we're going to go next. A crazy weekend in the NBA. 2 series are now tied at 2 games apiece. The Lakers lead the Warriors, and it's the Heat leading the Knicks right now. We'll dive into that with Strick's thoughts. What's he seen out of especially the Lakers? And is Boston letting this series slip away? Seems like they've done it twice now. We'll dive into NBA headlines as we continue here, hour 1 on the block.
It's May, and that means the school year is almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Get your car someday and do it now. Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have your current car barely surviving another road cup just for them. And find your next ride just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Motor Food is Lincoln's hardest rocking food truck and cafe. Motor Food creates old school comfort food with a 21st century twist and lots of rock and roll attitude. Try the barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese, the grilled chicken Firebird sandwich, a 100% all beef split grilled hot dog, and any of their fries at the cafe just behind it. Or catch the food truck out and about all spring and summer. Check out their menu, order carry out, or schedule catering at motorfoodtruck.com. Sunday morning. It's quiet, not in a weird, too quiet way. calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that coffee, you slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too slutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
There's never been a better time to earn more on your checking account. Open a free Kasasa Cash checking account with Liberty First Credit Union and earn a 5.5% APY for up to $40,000. It's simple. Open your Kasasa Cash checking account online or stop into any of the 4 Lincoln locations or Seward and Omaha branches. Liberty First makes switching easy. Liberty FirstCU.com for us. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
Mother's Day is on Sunday, May 14th. Do you know what you're getting your mom this year? Stop procrastinating and get her the one thing that she wants, a massage. The Body Shop in Lincoln offers all sorts of massages. All you have to do to win this Mother's Day is get mom a gift card from the Body Shop. Swedish massage, hand and so much more. Gift cards can only be bought online at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop, located at 48th and A.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dayton has been a leader in wild and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. It can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstoRats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Some kids worry about making the sports team. Others worry about where they'll sleep tonight. In Lincoln, 300 kids are in need of a safe and loving home. Cedars is here, but we do need your help. A gift to Cedars makes an immediate impact on Lincoln's kids. And on Give to Lincoln Day, your gift goes even further. I'm Jim Blue, president of the Cedars organization, and I'm asking you to go to givetolincoln.com to make your gift to Cedars and support Lincoln's kids today.
This is Jay Foreman. When I played football for Nebraska and in the NFL, I gear to safeguard my health. Today, I'm not only protecting my health, but everyone in our community by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Update your protection with the bivalent COVID vaccine while still free. Find out more at healthylincoln.org. That's healthylincoln.org.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $20 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and the ticketfm.com.
Catching you up on everything you missed in the NBA this weekend. Strick, I know you got lots of thoughts. Where do you want to start? What stood out to you most this NBA weekend?
Well, let's start with the Nuggets and the Phoenix Suns. I was really intrigued with how well the Phoenix Suns has played. And, to me, to be honest, I think Jokic is making an absolute statement. Listen, this is no discredit to Joel Embiid. Well done. Great season. Worked his tail off. I'm not going to say he's not deserving. I think he was. I think the performance that Jokic put on against the Suns on the road, the efficiency in which he did it, high free throws and still made a high clip. Not his normal high rebound numbers, but freaking 11 assists as well. Just a phenomenal game. I think they did everything they needed to do to try to win. It was one of those things in which this is what they're going to have to do regularly. The Suns. This is Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. If they don't do this, they can't win. That's just being honest. I don't think if they don't have the kind of nights that they have for at least 2 of the next 3 games, the way that they played last night, also very efficient. Book 14-18. Whew. Yeah, I mean, shit, let's be real about it. Very, very efficient as well, with 12 assists also on top of that. KD was very efficient as well, but at 44 minutes, is that sustainable that KD can continue to play that high of a clip of minutes as well? At his age, you got to figure that into the equation as well. But both of them going for 36. I don't think if they don't do that in the next 2 or 3 games, they don't win, especially without Chris Paul.
Absolutely. Well, that's the other thing. Are they better off without Chris Paul? I know he's the point guard. I know that's his nickname, but
it looks like
he's not as good a spot-up shooter as some of the guys coming off their bench, and he's an injury risk. You never know how long you're going to have them. So at least now with him out, Strick, they can game plan by saying, hey, we don't have Chris Paul. What that does is it puts the ball in Devin Booker's hands more.
Yeah,
and
facts.
Right now that's a good thing. Nobody in NBA history, Strick, over any 9-game stretch, regular season or postseason, has put up the scoring, rebounding, assist, and shooting numbers that Devin Booker has. Which, again, you can kind of cherry pick that, so that's fine. But you mentioned 36 points. What stands out to me, Strick, is the 12 assists that he had.
Yes.
Because when you're scoring, you're getting over 30. I'm sure you get in a zone. You feel like, okay, this is my night. I'm in everything they're giving me. Talk about what it means that Devin Booker had 12 assists, not 2 assists in a game like that.
Well, he's normally a downhill scorer. Mid-range is sick, obviously off the 3. Games that are similar to him are like Klay Thompson. Him and Klay Thompson have a little bit, but he has a little bit more trick in his bag. That's really the only difference as far as their perimeter games. Now, that's part of the scouting report that I venture to say that excuse me, that Denver didn't account for. I would venture to say that him dropping those many dimes was not what they were expecting out of Book. So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and and figure out how they're going to rotate and cover. And that's really all the NBA playoffs is all about what adjustments are you going to make from game to game to the next, and who's going to continue to show up when those adjustments are made, and are you going to be able to overcome them? Now, they don't have an answer for Jokic.
No.
This is a lot different. I think if they get past, I'd say the matchup between a Lakers Golden State. I mean a Lakers and Denver. That's a tough matchup. AD is a tough matchup for him, both offensively and defensively. But on the other side, Golden State, they don't really have an answer for him at all.
Nope.
You see they're already struggling with AD. And we're going to get into that as well. But I think matchups is what makes playoff victories happen. And right now, I'm impressed. I'm impressed by what Phoenix was able to do. I thought that they were out of it, and I thought Denver would have clipped them in one of those games.
Someone, I'm not going to say who, has been saying Suns in 7. I'm not going to say who. I'm just going to leave it out there that someone at this station has been saying Suns in 7.
You.
Okay, you said that, so I didn't have to. But yeah, to your point, KD and Booker, the first duo in NBA postseason history to record 35, 5, and 5 in consecutive playoff games each. Yeah. That's nuts. That's insane. I'm going to ask you this question, Strick, after I give you my answer. Right now, Devin Booker is playing like a superstar. I held off on saying that because I didn't buy the efficiency.
It was fraudulent.
I didn't know if he was a good enough passer. I didn't know if he could carry a team the way that he really has. But right now, Devin Booker is playing like a superstar. And that's why I asked you about those 12 assists, because you see guys that can heat up for 50. We know Devin Booker can do that, but he looks like he's in that zone right now where he's letting the game come to him and exerting superstar impact. Because if he was just a gunner, there's no way he has 12 assists. He's reading the game. He's in the flow of the game, helping the team win while still getting his. That's superstar stuff.
Yeah, it looks easy for him right now. Like there's nothing they can do to speed him up. He just looks like he's just playing very comfortable. He's been there now before. He's had his moment where he fell flat on his face. When it counted, when they needed him, he wasn't that. And so I can understand how you came to that conclusion with regards to Book. He's definitely showing improving this year. I think the addition, the calmness that Durant can add to him helps. And they both, here's the crazy thing about this dynamic. They both got something to prove. Like Durant has won championship, but he still feels he's got something to prove. And I think both of them having that edge could help to propel them. But Denver's going to be a tough one to clip, especially now you got to go back to the Mile High still 2 more times and get it done. So we're going to see how that pans out.
Last note on that series, Denver's bench in yesterday's game, a 5-point loss. Jeff Green, -16, Bruce Brown, -11, Christian Brown, -10.
Which is surprising because usually they have a pretty good bench.
Usually.
Yeah.
If the bench isn't going to produce and the Suns are able to make up enough ground in those, non-starter minutes, that might be the key, is just those little stretches in that series.
Yeah.
Okay, staying out west. You mentioned Anthony Davis, how he's the key to that Lakers-Warriors series. Luckily for the Lakers, he's been good in the odd-numbered games. So if you get so expect bad AD tonight. He'll be great in Game 5, right. And we'll see where things are at after that. What can you do if you're the Lakers to make him more consistent, or is that just who Anthony Davis is as a player?
Well, what was good about him last night is the rebound numbers came back. He was just not active at all in the previous game. I don't think it's injury. He didn't go to the free throw line as much as he did. He was very active this game. Like, that's what you see. Now, can he do that, on those other occasions? Can it be sustainable? That's the key that you have to. Now, I'll tell you, the difference maker I know to be is AD in this series. In that game, it was D'Angelo Russell.
Sure.
He started off getting the first 11 points coming right out the block. That got them going. LeBron was non-existent. I don't think LeBron took a shot even till dang near some early part of the second quarter, and then still ends up with 21. And so it was D'Angelo Russell to me that kind of set the tone for what this game was going to be. Clay got off to a very rocky start. They didn't shoot the ball well at all. I mean, it was terrible. It was under 40%. A team that shoots as many freaking threes as they do, you can't shoot 44 threes and shoot in the 20s, in the 20 percentile. You can't do it. And that's how you're going to get blown out, because guess what? This team is an outlet type of team that's going to get out in the open court, and that's where they thrive. Guys like Lonnie Walker, came out of nowhere playing 24 minutes and had 12 points for them. So they had guys that kind of stepped up, came up big for them. If Austin Reeves or any of them show up, the Golden State Warriors are in trouble.
Plain and simple. We talk about AD's inconsistencies. Is it time to start having that conversation about Clay? It might be.
Yeah.
And Klay Thompson, for his own sake, again.
Now his legend is
secure.
Is secure. But
it is. But at this point, Klay Thompson, I don't think you can count on as a reliable guy. At this point, it's bonus, whatever you get from it. And that, to me, is a bigger worry for the Warriors, because look at Steph's numbers. 4 of 10 from 3 is fine, but 5 of 11 from everywhere else, 9 of 21 total, 23 points on 21 shots isn't efficient.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson is so important for Steph Curry's success. Not saying Steph can't do it on his own. It just becomes that much harder when Klay's off.
Here's what you notice. AD had 4 blocks in this game. Again, like his block number, I think his block average is 4 to 5 a game, right?
Woo.
So after the first game, when he was losing everything that came in there was going back to the front row. It was everything was getting lost. The things that used to work for them, the floaters, the touch passes, I mean, all of the lob, all that stuff that was working is getting tossed back. And now that's why they're shooting so many threes. So right now, Golden State is live by the three, die by the three, because when they're attacking, they're not attacking to finish. They're attacking to pass, which is they're not even getting mid-range shots, really. They're getting either threes or fast break opportunities for twos. Draymond, all those guys, they get down there deep and they're like, no, let's kick this out. you know? So I think that's the effectiveness that AD has been bringing as well, is they're not getting opportunities at the basket. They're getting only perimeter jumpers, and the percentages by history go down the further out that you go out to the three-point line.
What's the fix for Golden State? I know Kerr loves his motion-based offense. Is it as simple as run more pick and roll with Steph, get Draymond in the short roll to get AD away from the basket? What do you do?
I think they've got to run them. I think they got to run their legs. Say what you will. They play multiple people, but their bench, to me, is not as successful.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of the potential of Schroeder, I think Lonnie Walker is kind of an anomaly situation. Hachimura is up and down. Outside of that, their guys play pretty high minutes. Vanderbilt didn't play a lot, but he's a defensive, guru. So a lot of those minutes got split up. Mm-hmm. And when you have such a lead that they had, you don't need to rely on Vanderbilt as much as when
it's tight.
When it's tight, you got to have him, because the reason is the success is coming by way of Vanderbilt. I love what they've done. They put Vanderbilt on basically Steph Curry. They're like, we're giving you length. You're not going to be able to just get to where you want to, and I like it. So if they continue to do that, actually LeBron's playing a little bit of D too. I've been seeing it the last few days. I mean, he's been playing a little bit of D, and so that's what's helped him.
Moving our focus out east, the last series we're going to talk about before we get to the shootout with Strick. The Sixers survive. They win the first quarter. Boston comes back in the fourth quarter, but can't hold on to finish. Jason Tatum may or may not have pushed off. Probably did. It doesn't matter, because James Harden was in his bag. Near triple-double, 42, 8, and 9 for the Beard. They tie the series up. Strick, I thought Boston had that game won a couple times, but it goes back to what Doc said after game one. Get it to the fourth quarter, and we like our chances. This series is 2-2. I didn't see that one coming.
I didn't either. I actually thought Boston was going to run away with it. Big shot in the corner by James Harden. And what they found out is that we can both exist together for the success of this team. I thought they were dead to rights. Big shot by Marcus Smart. Just did it. Now, so that's one of the parts I wanted to talk about. Let's get technical right now. Let's get
in real, the lab. We're in the lab.
We're in the lab. We're in the lab on this one. Here's the thing that happened in that situation. We're always taught late game clock. We're down. Anytime we're down anywhere from 2 to 3 points, the goal is always to go early. Meaning you want to be attacking anywhere from the 9 to 14 cent mark or 14 second mark, right?
Okay.
Because you want to be able to get a shot, potential rebound. When is the best time to make a three-pointer?
Off an offensive rebound
Off of an offensive rebound kick out, right? So you want to give yourself enough time to be able to get a shot off. If you do not make it, crash, leave good shooters on wing positions or corner to kick out for a finalizing three, okay? Jason Tatum didn't start an attack until it was 7 seconds. Them not getting into something early enough cost them that game, because Marcus Smart, if he went at that time I just told you, that 9 to 14 range, that he gets that shot off, and there you go.
And Philly's got what, a second and a half, maybe?
Yeah. Second and a half. At that point, you live with whatever you're going to get. You're up 2. So you give up a 2, you just go into overtime. So yeah, I like the way that played out. I just don't like the execution of it. That timeline should have been a little bit higher, and they would have had a better chance.
I think it goes to the point you've brought up a couple times in the last week or so about taking a lot of dribbles to get there too.
Yeah,
it wasn't straight line.
Yeah,
sticking in the lab for one last question, then we'll get to the shootout. Did Jaylen Brown make the right or wrong decision in helping off strong side corner?
I understand. By rule, you don't. You come weak side.
Mm-hmm.
You send. I understand why he did. Deep penetration from the MVP, deep in the paint.
And if there is a knock on Embiid, he's not the greatest passer.
Right. Can he find the guy in that situation when he's in his mojo? He did. And he found the guy that went nuts for the night, which is James Harden in the corner. So I can't really fault him because I understand. If we game planned it, maybe talked about it in there in the huddle, I'm definitely probably coming from the weaker side. I definitely wouldn't have come from the top. Definitely would have been somebody where he would have had to make a great across the court pass to the weak corner, possibly, not to James Harden. So
who had already had 39 points.
Yeah. So I hate that happened, but I understand why he did it.
Would you say it's the human decision, if not the basketball decision?
Yeah. It's a human danger. It's like danger, Will Robinson danger. You know what I mean? It's like there's danger right here this deep in the paint. But the 2 even would have been better than the 3 at that specific point.
That's In the Lab with Strick. Appreciate the breakdown there from the Husker Hall of Famer, the 9-year NBA vet, the man who would have made the right play in that situation.
I would have came even harder. I think I would have jumped in. Look, you're going to get that shot off anyway. I would have been all in your lap. I'm jumping at the ball. If I even have to, I might have fouled you before, I probably let that get off. But yeah, he kind of was half-hearted, kind of in that halfway position. Yeah, I would have came a little harder.
That's In the Lab. We're going to step into the ring for the shootout with Strick. The champ was T-Badge. He's not here today, so Strick still got to earn that title back. We'll play the shootout with Strick. $15 to Buffalo Wings and rings the prize next.
Some kids worry about making the sports team. Others worry about where they'll sleep tonight. In Lincoln, 300 kids are in need of a safe and loving home. Cedars is here for them, but we do need your help. A gift to Cedars makes an immediate impact on Lincoln's kids. And on Give to Lincoln Day, your gift goes even further. I'm Jim Blue, president of the Cedars organization, and I'm asking you to go to givetolincoln.com to make your gift to Cedars and support Lincoln's kids today.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road. Too many believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to NovotnyNutritionandWellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located 7th and Superior.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsrats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish all the moms out there a happy Mother's Day. We hope that everyone is able to show how much they care for and respect the moms in their life for this weekend especially, but in everyday life too. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC fabrication and sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC has great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
Spring is here, and Acres has special financing on all John Deere tractors and zero-turn mowers. Get your yard looking great and use John Deere's wide selection of attachments to landscape your property to perfection. And for a limited time, with a purchase of a new John Deere mower, get up to $200 to apply to the steel power tool of your choice. From trimmers to chainsaws, gas or electric, Acres is your home for steel products and service. Acres, solutions for every field.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me if that plate was never empty. And can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
Mother's Day is on Sunday, May 14th. Do you know what you're getting your mom this year? Stop procrastinating and get her the one thing that she wants, a massage. The Body Shop in Lincoln offers all sorts of massages. All you have to do to win this Mother's Day is get mom a gift card from the Body Shop. Swedish massage, deep tissue massage, hand and foot massage, and so much more. Gift cards can only be bought online at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop, located at 48th and A.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Sunny skies, warm temps yet again here for our Monday. We'll see an afternoon high near 84. Winds out of the west at around 10 to 15. Overnight mainly clear, a low down to around 58. We'll see increasing clouds tomorrow and a chance of some showers and thunderstorms with a high back near 80. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
We're back with a special guest, Jake Sorensen in the house. Jake, welcome to the afternoon programming.
What's going on, fellas? Good to be here. Strick just tagged me and said, hey, do you want to play for me during the break? I'm like, sure. And now we're out of break, so here we are.
Yo,
Okay.
tag. One time.
This is happening.
Tag.
This is 2 days in a row now. Strick isn't playing the game.
Well, he just needs some lifeline. Summertime. Strick needs a little mental break. We're here for him. I'm in the building. Why not?
Yeah, because you tell Simple to shut up all the time.
That's
so.
right. See, that's right. I'm usually the one in Austin's role giving the questions. I don't usually get to answer them, so I'm curious how this goes today.
You'll do fine. I believe in you. I never thought I'd see the day when we get 2 DNP CDs for Strick, though.
Well, load management.
That's one of the things you hate most
It's
in
the
this
playoffs,
line.
Strick. There's no load management in the playoffs.
I am Kawhi Leonard Jr.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Playoff load management.
Dave, you are on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. You will be playing Jake. Are you okay with that, Dave?
Well, I got to do what I got to do, I guess.
All right, Dave, hold on the line. We'll give Jake his questions first. Jake, rules for you.
All right.
3 either-or questions.
Okay.
The 4th question, you got to pull the name.
All right.
If we get to the tiebreaker, you get to guess a number.
Do we know the topic today here, Austin?
The topic is MLB career leaders
Got
for
it.
hitters.
All right. I'm ready.
Okay, your round begins here in 3, 2, and 1. He has the most career hits in MLB history. Ty Cobb or Pete Rose?
Oh, I should know that. Ty Cobb.
It's Rose.
That's bad. It's a bad miss.
He drew the most career walks. Babe Ruth or Barry Bonds?
Barry Bonds.
Yep. He hit the most doubles in a career. Tris Speaker or Stan Musial?
Stan.
It was Tris Speaker, and he had the most career RBI. Notice I said RBI, not RBIs. RBI is correct.
This is bad. Joe DiMaggio.
It is not Joe DiMaggio.
Good effort.
The answer, Hank Aaron.
I should know that. Listen, I'm
Over
usually
2,000.
the one dishing the question. I know how it feels now on this side because you got to be in the zone. And I didn't know that. Yeah, you should win this one, Dave.
All right, Dave.
This is my L, though, Strick, not you. If I lose, all right. This is my L.
Dave, 1 to tie, 2 or more to win. Are you ready for your round?
I'm ready.
All right, begins in 3, 2, and 1. He has the most career home runs in MLB history. Barry Bonds or Hank Aaron?
Barry Bonds.
Yep. He struck out the most times in a career. Reggie Jackson or Jim Thome?
Jim Comey.
It was Jackson. He had the most triples in a career. Honus Wagner or Sam Crawford?
Crawford.
It was Crawford, and he scored the most runs in a career.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth, a good guess, but it is incorrect. The answer is Ricky Henderson, but it doesn't matter.
I'm sorry, Strick. That's my bad, man. Listen, I wasn't prepared.
I love it. I love it. Sorensen popped in.
Rico's giving me crap over here.
And we bring Rico in right now for the tiebreaker.
Hello.
Rico's favorite part. All right, Jake, you will give the
Did I lose or not? It's not over yet? I thought I lost.
We do this for fun. We do this for edification.
Okay. All right.
So I'll ask you a question. You give a number. Rico will go over or under.
All right.
How many career runs did Ricky Henderson score?
Where do you even start with that? Where do you even start?
Ricky Henderson played 25 seasons in the big.
This is where you can look like a complete idiot with you like way off, like thousands.
Oh,
off.
yeah.
Okay, it's definitely in the thousands, right? Is that
I'm not going to give you any.
I'm going to go 50, 200, 5,200.
5,200 is the
Under.
number. Rico, over, under?
Under.
The 5 and the 2 are right, ish. 2,295.
Geez. Hey, I got to be prepared next time, Strick. This is bad.
We're going to do it again. We're going to get Sorensen back.
Next time, I got to know ahead of time. I was pulled in here right before the segment. No excuses. No excuses. That's just facts right there. But
So,
I'll be better next time.
This one's for Strick, though.
All right.
So Ricky Henderson, 2,295 runs scored. Did Hank Aaron have more or less career RBI?
More.
He did, by 2. Hank Aaron drove in 2 more runs than Ricky Henderson scored in his career.
Hey, guess what? Since you tagged him in, it still counts as a loss for you.
No. It's an L for Jake.
Negative.
I'm 0-1.
No. He tagged you in. Still counts.
Negative.
9-8 overall, 0-1 on the week. And guess what? Rico versus Strick, 9-1.
I have a new appreciation for those on this side of the trivia. That was embarrassing. That was humbling, and it was most importantly embarrassing.
The question hits you, and all of a sudden your brain's like, what is sports?
I mean, I got to get Pete Rose. I can't say Ty Cobb. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's
what are you
bad
doing?
one. That
The
one was
third guy, I should have gone with the guy I'd never heard of before. Not usual, but the other guy. What was his name again?
Tris Speaker.
You ever heard of him before?
Never.
Rico?
Always go with Tris Speaker.
Okay. When in doubt, Tris Speaker is correct. Got it.
Jake, thanks for playing.
Yes,
Thanks for
I'll
stepping
do
in.
better next time, I promise.
We believe in you. Dave, congratulations on your win. Hold on the line. Rico will get your information. We'll step aside, talk Huskers in hour 2 here on the block.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also on ticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Resident commercial buildings, school, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstoRats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Mother's Day is on Sunday, May 14th. Do you know what you're getting your mom this year? Stop procrastinating and get her the one thing that she wants, a massage. The Body Shop in Lincoln offers all sorts of massages. All you have to do to win this Mother's Day is get mom a gift card from The Body Shop. Swedish massage, deep tissue massage, hand and foot massage, and so much more. Gift cards can only be bought online at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop, located at 48th and A.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and we are celebrating a record sales month in April, and we're going to let it roll and crank up in the month of May. We have some big discounts and special interest rates going on this month on selected new in-stock Sierras and Silverados. Buy a new Silverado or Sierra, get $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. You heard right, $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. We have outstanding specials on all of our new pre-owned GM certified units. So stop on in and see us or check us out online at copplecars.com. You'll be glad you did. New discount must trade in and finance with the roof credit.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
This is Jay Foreman. I wore gear to protect my health on the football field and protecting it now by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Get up to date while it's still free and stay protected. Learn more at healthylincoln.org.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC has great attention to detail. They stick deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, you can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329. There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Spring is here, and Acres has special financing on all John Deere lawn tractors and zero-turn mowers. Get your yard looking great and use John Deere's wide selection of attachments to landscape your property to perfection. And for a limited time, with a purchase of a new John Deere mower, get up to $200 to apply to the steel power tool of your choice. From hammers to chainsaws, gas or electric, Acres is your home for steel products and service. Acres, solutions for every field.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel of all sorts. ESC has great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
The Ticket Water Cooler.
Josiah Alec coming home. And again, I don't think this is a class full of people that absolutely wow you, but it's we're talking about fits. Nebraska basketball has had some players under threat, however. They just haven't really fit together.
You've got a good base.
I think it's going to be tough to get minutes on this squad. This might be as deep as a Nebraska basketball team as we've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a team that had 11 players who played a decent amount of minutes for whatever college they were at the Division I level last season.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! You're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. By Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It's Talk with Strick and Austin.
Yes, we are back on the block. Shine bright like a diamond. All of the blockheads out there listening on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter, as well as Allo Channel 951. We appreciate you guys as well. Sutter Heyman text line is consistently open for you to continue to join into the conversation. We see some of your comments on Shootout with Strick, and yes, you did kind of go in on Jake a little bit.
He plays once. You guys are ruthless.
You guys are going in.
Man.
Woo!
He's a rookie. Just got called up to the show.
Got called up to the show. Just had a bad outing. Went 1 for 4. You know, he just wasn't used to seeing that kind of pitching. But you know, like the Royals, they're getting wins now.
Well,
he'll bounce back.
I wouldn't go that far with the Royals. They did just lose 2 out of 3 to Oakland.
Okay,
but they won on Sunday.
So the battle of the worst, basically.
Literally, when the Royals lost to the A's on Saturday, they were tied for the worst record in baseball with the A's.
Yeah,
but they beat them, so they're out of the cellar by a game now.
That's crazy.
Progress.
We're gonna get into a little bit of conversation right now because
let's thank Mary Ellen's too.
Oh, Mary Ellen's food for the soul. They're not open today, but Wednesday, if the day is shining as it is brightly today, hopefully you will be able to find your way to Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul.
Stream, tell us if the sun is brighter or Strick's shirt is brighter. I don't know if the stream even does it justice. Like, I think I'm going to need to run out to my car and get my sunglasses for the second hour.
I wanted to shine bright today.
You always do.
Got to see DP. DP popped in the building today after a long, wonderful weekend down there. So it was good to see him. I didn't think he would be here today, but what a hardworking man he is. And he does the work that he does for the ticket. 93.7 theticketfm.com.
He was down to the new building.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Check out the 93.7 Ticket Twitter account for an update on that.
Well, listen, we've seen the pictures in our last meeting and the pictures and what that new building's going to be and what it's going to do for the downtown area and the community and everybody that's going to be able to come out. I'm excited. I'm excited about it. Hopefully we'll be able to tap into that building sometime in the early part of the fall during football season. Keep your eyes out for that as well. But this topic I want to get into right now is an interesting one. One, in what it involves not only Nebraska football. We're staying with the men. We're not saying about the women in this particular instance because we're just dealing with the transfer portal and some of those things like that. But players that seem, and so we can't put our hands on this, and I want you to talk a little bit more, but players that seem to find their way transferring out of Nebraska, whether it be from the football team or from the basketball team, one of the things in the typical traits that we're starting to see is not many of them find themselves trending upward or going even horizontally into other programs at the Power 5 level or into programs that are similar to that of Nebraska or better. Just what's your thoughts initially on that?
Yeah, this is one of those things that I don't know what's there, but there has to be something there. Something is in there for us that I want us to work through and talk through. Because when I look at some of the recent news, I look at Cron McPherson, he announced his transfer to Northern Illinois for basketball. But football is really the one that I think this sticks out in the biggest way, where you see Richard Torres go pretty close to home, go to Incarnate Word down in Texas. And as I got to thinking, Strick, there's only a handful of guys in recent memory from Nebraska football specifically that have stayed at the same level
or went up. Houseman.
Exactly.
That's one.
Houseman's one. And I'll get to the examples in just a sec, but I want to throw this out there too. I know some of the listeners out there are thinking, well, of course you're at Nebraska. How can you transfer up? Come on. You've seen the football team right now. Again, we're hoping the best for it, but if you're transferring up from Nebraska, that means you're going like Houseman did to Michigan. That's a transfer up right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're on a different level. Same conference, I get it. Different level. It's like Tyler Steen, who just got drafted, going from Vanderbilt to Alabama. Yeah, they're in the same conference. That's a transfer up. Ernest Houseman transferred up. I would even say Adrian Martinez and Cade Warner transferred up. Maybe not at the time, but it turned into an up transfer down at Kansas State. I would throw out there J.D. Spielman. That's kind of the same level when he goes from Nebraska to TCU. Maybe down for when JD was there and actually playing. So that one's probably about the same. Luke McCaffrey goes to Louisville at first, but ends up going down to Rice. The other one that stands out then, Wan'Dale Robinson from Nebraska to
at the time,
Kentucky.
At the time, that's an upward because of what they were able to accomplish in that season. Go ahead.
Right. And Wan'Dale's a little different too because that's home for him. Where he's originally committed, it's right there. So maybe that has less to do with it. But aside from those examples that we just threw out, Strick, the vast majority of guys that transfer from Nebraska end up Group of 5 FCS. Closer to home, Group of 5 FCS. And that's where I run into a little conundrum with this discussion, because I'm sure in a lot of cases, guys do need to be closer to home for something, or it's just a better fit for their talents. But if a lower level is a better fit for their talents, that tells me one of two things is going wrong, if not both. Either number one, Nebraska isn't properly identifying guys that can, hang at the Big Ten Power 5 level. They get there, they can't hang, so they have to go lower. Or two, Nebraska's onto something with the guys they're recruiting, but haven't developed enough of them. I tend to think, though, it's the first. Because other, big schools aren't typically picking these guys up at nearly as consistent a rate. Adrian down to Kansas State, we know the connection with his girlfriend playing soccer down there, but not like Kansas State improved on Adrian. Adrian's stock was where it was. I don't think Kansas State made him better, but he was one of the better players to transfer from Nebraska, went to a power program. J.D. Spielman, really good numbers at Nebraska, went to a power program. Wan'Dale Robinson, misused at Nebraska, still solid numbers, went to a program that when he was there was still on the climb. Hausman's one I'm curious to see, but again, those to me are the exceptions. I think Nebraska's missing a little bit in some of the guys they're identifying recently, because if other programs aren't going to take a shot at him, like look at some of the guys that transferred to Nebraska. MJ Sherman from Georgia. Now I can say he was a miss. He had a great role on special teams. The locker room respected him. Wanted more playing time, comes to Nebraska, power program. Jacob Hood, at offensive line from Georgia. Collier and Borders from Florida to Nebraska. Again, those schools saw something in those guys competing at a pretty high level in the SEC, but they're still good enough, still talented enough for Nebraska to take a look at them. I don't know how many of those schools, even similar to where Nebraska's at in the Power 5 level, are taking a look at the guys that are leaving Nebraska. And that to me is a little fishy.
I mean, I think you bring up a tremendous point. I will say one of the things in this discussion that we're talking about is this. Whenever things get tight, whenever situations get hard, whenever the pipes get close to breaking, individuals normally will resort back to comfort. No matter what situation you're in life, you normally will go back to what made you comfortable. Usually that's something close to home. Usually that's family. Usually, in some instances, it can be a drug. Some instances, it can be alcohol. Whatever it is, when those things in those situations hit hard, you normally resort back to comfort. So a lot of these situations when some kids are leaving and heading back towards those areas of home, similar to your boy that played Imani Bates.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Rough and tumble down there, just couldn't hack it, down there. It got real tough for him in Memphis. Goes back home.
Ypsilanti. Home.
Heads back home. And there's comfort in that. And so you're seeing bad conference, downgrade for him, but it's raising his confidence level back again. And I think that's what a lot of kids are gravitating to, is trying to get back the confidence or to a mental space in which they have lost. Unfortunately, when you look at those situations, Austin, it comes back to a point that a lot of big schools just aren't on the hunt, because when you're in a losing program, it just makes it that much difficult for anyone to make an assessment. It's easier for you to come from a winning type of program and get into a space where you probably going to have a great shot to shine, win a starting spot, or be in the running for a 1 or 2 on the depth chart, right? So that's why I think this is kind of happening a little bit. Until you develop a winning culture, a lot of people don't want that to be a part of their program. Is now they've got to build your mind up to a culture that is already being established if it's a winning program.
And that's a fantastic point, because when you look at places like Georgia, Bama, Clemson, Ohio State, they typically take, or at least recently have taken, fewer transfers, because the guys that they lose are going to those smaller programs or, same level, but not as successful programs, but they're not filling the holes with transfers
Right.
because they have a recruiting class that
Yes.
they know is talented and that they believe they can develop. So I do understand that the math works out that the majority of players, like 55% of the Power 5 transfers end up Group of 5 or lower, I think is what it is. And that's 45% that still ends up at the Power 5 level.
Mm-hmm.
But again, what's their situation? Are they going from a 12-win team to a 6-win team, 7-win team, 4-win team? I don't know. But yeah, it is hard.
And then what is the impact?
Exactly. What impact are they making?
Yeah.
So it is definitely harder to, be that good, be that talented. And honestly, I think that's kind of college football's idea of a promotion, right? Where you grind your way through at a Group of 5 school or an FCS school for 3 years. You've done all you can. You've accomplished everything you can. You're like, okay, I need to take my skills to a bigger stage to accomplish my goals. That to me, as well as the transfer closer to home, is kind of the idea for the transfer portal, right? Guys that have put in the work, that have earned it, that they want to see how they can compete at the highest level. Sure, transfer up. Please, it's unfortunate that you feel the need to leave your school to do it, but that's a business decision.
Yeah.
Who among us hasn't wanted a promotion before? Who among us hasn't taken a promotion before? Go for it. Can't fault you there. Grandma's sick, family struggling. Go be closer to home. That's more important than football. Get there, transfer. That's fine. The playing time one, I get the temptation for it, but that to me isn't exactly why the transfer portal was there, regardless of what school you come from.
I have a question, and this is the question I want to really just dig into and throw at you. We know that the barrel is full regularly in the transfer portal. 2,200
kids.
You know the barrel's full. Usually, there are some situations, for example, like Hunter Dickinson, who literally just played the whole thing out, wanted to get the best fit for him, took his time, was not in a hurry, had plenty of time because of, basketball season isn't until the winter. So you had plenty of time to kind of assess, break down, look at, have conversations, feel out, see what's coming, who you got, who did you get, and then make a decision. There's those small amount of situations, but usually when the barrel's full, the best pickings of the of the stalk of corn, the best pickings of the berries,
the shiniest apple,
the big, all of that usually gets picked first, and
there's the most competition for it.
Right, the most competition for it, and usually get picked. So then you find yourself continuously getting down in the barrel, and when you pick from that bottom of the barrel, do you think that there's value in it? Like, or are you just picking because you gotta pick it? That's kind of where I'm kind of, you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, because there's a difference between, oh, this will work, and I can make this work.
Yeah.
There's a big difference. Oh, I can make, this will work is, okay, we got one. Here's a gem, a guy that's transferring up, a guy that is still talented, didn't, have a role because there are other NFL guys ahead of him, a guy that wasn't in the right situation for him, but is really talented. That's, this will work. I can make this work is where I think a lot of the current Big Ten West resides, where a lot of the teams that are in that range where you can say anything from 4 to 8 and 8 and 4 is on the table. For the most part, they're shopping with the, I can make this work. It's going to take some creativity. I have to find the exact right role for this player. I have to find the exact right ingredients to pair with this fruit to, get rid of a little bit of the sourness or the bitterness, whatever it is, from some of these players. Not because it's not a good school, but just because other schools are more successful right now.
Right.
So they get the pickings at the top. And that's how it's always been. That's how it'll always be. So if you're going to be the, I can make this work, that's fine. But then you have to make it work, right? You have to focus then on development.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah, exactly. And then that does have to be the focus. But here, what's intriguing to me as we're talking about this topic is what makes a team like Kansas State happen. I mean, I think they did it both in both realms.
Yeah.
In the football and the basketball. It's for some reason in Manhattan, they think it's the Big Apple. Like it's the place to be. Like, I don't know if they got tricked. I got tricked. I got tricked into Joe Harge. If you're listening on the line, Coach Joe Harge tells me back in the day, Austin, he's like, Strick, I've got a lot of D1 guys that are coming down to the program. I really need some help with them. I was like, Coach, all right, what you need? He's like, I said, where you at? He said, I'm in Vegas. I'm in Las Vegas. I said, word. I said, okay, cool. Las Vegas. All right. Yeah. Let's see if we can make it happen. Yeah, it's a D2, but it's in Las Vegas. Okay. So I'm flying on Southwest Airlines, get into Albuquerque. So I'm thinking, okay, Albuquerque to Las Vegas. Okay, cool. Transfer flight. No, he's going to pick me up in Albuquerque. So I'm like, wait a minute. That's a long drive, my guy. Is the budget tight? And he picks me up and we take a little short drive up. We pass Santa Fe and New Mexico, and we find ourselves in Las Vegas, New Mexico.
No, you don't.
Yes. Oh yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. This is where we're at. All right, this is the place to be. Okay. So
that's false advertising.
At that point,
that's false pretenses.
This is why I wonder, and I look, and I'm like, how does Kansas State, who has no players coming back, they delve, jump, swim, skydive, whatever, into the transfer portal, and they land everything you need, to include a player by the name of Keontae Johnson that we here at Nebraska passed over. I'm not going to say that was a Coach Hoiberg situation. I think there was other things and situations that didn't allow that to happen. But nonetheless, this young man helps them to go to a Final Four experience. And how does that happen? That's what. But how does the Mel Tucker type situations happen? How does these situations put these teams in these positions by being heavily in there and they're hitting? What is it from hitting and the difference between missing the way that most people hit? That's what intrigues me.
Tucker's a really interesting one to watch. That's been up and down. Mediocre first year with COVID when he first gets to Michigan State. The next year with Kenneth Walker and that bunch, fantastic year. Go to the Peach Bowl and play Pitt. Last year, up and down. I wonder if that's what we're in for with the transfer portal, or if that's the same with high school. Mel Tucker seems like a fine coach, but is he anything more than that? Does he have the special, seasonings? Does he have the secret sauce in the transfer portal? To me, Strick, the jury's still out. He did it once, and that's awesome. But Fred Hoiberg did it a couple times at Iowa State. It got closer last year. How repeatable is that? I think we're still finding out.
Yeah, I think it's still up in the air. Notorious B.I.B. On the text line throws out, and I think in some instances I have to agree with him on this. If he says this, if the NCAA don't start restricting this transfer portal crap, it will get out of hand. Well, shoot, I think it's already out of hand.
Yep.
And kids will always just be looking for better NIL deals. Like we kind of played around a little bit, and we'll tease this because I think this is a discussion we're going to have at some point. We'll tease it right now. But we talked about, and Notorious B.I.B., you're touching on a point, and we want to dig into it. But we talked about how, is there an entitlement generation that we're starting to create? Is there monsters that we've started to create in this transfer portal situation where there are so many individuals now that are on the hunt, on the seek, as parents are living vicariously through kids? What is it that's going to bring these reins into place? And that's one of the things that we're trying to figure out, dig into, because we're seeing these 4 and 5 star students. We're not going to go into depth or detail about it right now because we're got to get into a break. But we're seeing some of these 4 and 5 stars. They're getting kicked off teams. They're not panning out. They're going to other Power Fives because they're that good. And then they get kicked out of there too. So then there's got to be some common denominators in some instances with that. Are they really doing their due diligence in the portal? Are they having conversations that need to be had that is still allowing this to happen? Or is it a mentality similar in the NBA or in the NFL where guys are just so good that you just would rather take a chance, i.e. Josh Gordon? That's just one to throw out. I mean, that's just one of the ones, i.e. Redney Gregory, former Nebraska player, just guys that are just so good that you just would much rather take a chance. And is the juice more worth than the squeeze? That's something that we're going to talk about.
That it is. So stay tuned later in the week. We'll keep that conversation going. I want to ask Brian Munson that question, though. He's our recruiting insider for Husker Online with the On3 Network. We'll get Brian's perspective on that and more in the recruiting realm on the other side.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks all over it. Don't be that guy. Get it upgraded and repaired at Renew Your Auto. At Renew Your Auto, they offer tons of services: ceramic coating, window tinting, paintless dent repair, washes and details, bed liners, body shop, and more. Where can you go to get services like that all in one place? Schedule your appointment today at renewyourauto.com. See what Renew can do for you.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. And you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour. An opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit-SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
This is Jay Foreman. I work here to protect my health on the football field, and I'm protecting it now by staying up to the bivalent COVID vaccine. Get up to date while it's still free and stay protected. Learn more at healthylincoln.org.
It's May, and that means the school year is almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen's lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride. Summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
NASCAR is known for fast cars, roaring action, and big bucks. The Nebraska Lottery's NASCAR Powerball Playoff promotion features all three, especially the bucks. Until May 30th, buy a Powerball ticket with Power Play number and could be one of 15 winners, $1,000, and the chance to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Cup Series Championship Weekend. Enter today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Early
Break with Sip and Jake.
They're on the cusp of probably major announcements. Trev Albert, CAD, will ask for $250 million in that range. Now, add 70 maybe and put a roof on it.
Who would get to run the button that retracts the roof and does the also?
Maybe you'd be the honorary
I think
button.
I think you should be the first one to try it. It was Bill's idea. Bill gets to do the first.
Here's what I thought. I just always thought it'd be a cool thing to have. The retractable roof.
Early Break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning. To On the Block, Rick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
To right, Stricken Austin back with you. Wrapping up a Monday show almost, but before we do, we go to the Honda of Lincoln hotline, bring in our recruiting insider, Mr. Brian Munson of Husker Online. Brian, how's your weekend, my man?
It was good until I heard that segment there about Sip talking about a retractable roof. Let me tell you something. You don't ever want to put a guy from Columbus in charge of that. That just has trouble spelled all over it right there.
I've been told we already have an LNK dome around the city anyways, but I don't know why that would, necessarily need one over Memorial Stadium. Like there's no way that's involved in the upgrades that may or may not be coming, right?
Oh, I mean, there's always been speculation. I know from a guy who was friends with the daughter of the construction firm or whatever that an estimate's been given before, that it's been worked up. But I really feel like you're kind of what's important. What are like the must-haves and what are the nice-to-haves? That's where you're kind of at right now, and I really feel like Nebraska's facility puts them on puts them at the top, right at the top of what else is going on nationally. But they have some real considerable work that needs to happen inside Memorial Stadium. I mean, to the point where if somebody were to say level it and start over again, I think obviously you get a lot of pushback, but there's probably some sense that can be made from an engineering perspective. It's just, what else are you going to do until you can get it constructed? McLean down in Waco, I don't even know how long McLean took for them to move from, south of Waco where Baylor's at to their new stadium that's on campus, but it took years. It literally took years for them to finish that thing up and open. So, I don't know. I mean, the retractable roof would be certainly nice. I think people would really get behind that one, but I just feel like there's so many other things that they need to put their attention to.
Let's not forget Northwestern is building theirs as well, and that's going to be hundreds of millions of dollars and be, an all-in-one kind of entertainment thing. So I'm curious to see what they do. And I don't want to get to, philosophical, ship of Theseus of Memorial Stadium and whatnot, but I'm with you, Brian. I mean, as great as Memorial Stadium is, it needs to be fixed. Plain and simple. Yep. There's stuff that, I'm sure worked even 10 years ago that's out of date to some degree now. And if you're going to have the new indoor facility that house everything for athletics right next door, it's great that that's there for the athletes. But at some point, you have to take into consideration that not just student athletes have changed, but fans, their wants and their desires and how they want to watch football game has changed too.
No, absolutely. And I think there's me. There's the guy that's in his upper 40s right now that thinks about how comfortable it is to just sit on his couch and go ahead and observe the whole thing from wherever it is that he's sitting, or, that I actually really appreciate just going and doing the pregame thing and then heading into some establishment downtown when I'm in Lincoln and just hanging out and doing the thing there. It's not the same as being in the stadium, particularly, when you're knocking off an incredible team and enjoying that victory. But I really do feel like there's an experience there within the stadium that's been lacking for some time. Whether you want to mention the men's troughs or you want to talk about other things that are kind of around, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of things that need to be more in line with what they're building currently if they're not in a position to just all and out replace. They've got some level of basically upgrades that they need to do.
And Brian, I'm not going to lie to you. I've just gotten soft sitting in the press box as long as I have. Like, that's just where I'm most comfortable at this point, is not in the stands. And I was lucky enough to go to a couple games, without being on, work duty a couple years ago. But plain and simple, I'm soft. I don't want to go through the, getting downtown, the waiting in line, the no seat backs, anything like that. So I'm just soft. And that's even having had a lot of great experiences in Memorial Stadium growing up, going to awesome games, having the time of my life in Memorial Stadium. But I've changed, and I know I'm not alone in that.
No, the last couple of games I have been to at Memorial Stadium, I can definitely think of the one. It was the Friday out. It was the Iowa game with the ice storm. That was bone-chilling temperature, obviously. And I think that the other one that was pretty cold at too. My blood is thinned out. I've been a Texan now for 24 years. What I consider to be cold isn't exactly Nebraska cold, and so I'll be the first one to admit that. But I think everybody was in pain that was with me that day with the ice storm in Iowa. But I can't remember the other game I was trying to reference right now. But it was miserable, very, very, very cold. And I think you could take that environmental condition out. I think that you could put yourself and your team in a better position to be competitive and take those environmental factors out. I kind of appreciate, the fact that Nebraska does have that situation. I think it's something that you can impress upon recruits to where, you could go pick where you want to go play for the next 4 or 5 years, because that's on you. But when you get drafted, you may go to Buffalo, you may go to Green Bay, you may go to Chicago, and those are open air, facilities that you'll have to go ahead and play in on Sunday, and you don't have a choice. So you can go ahead and start figuring it out then, what it's like to play up there, or you can get, potentially a dose of it here a couple times a year where it's going to feel like that. And that's the way kind of stuff goes. But it's one of the things I think that Nebraska needs to do better with the overall experience before they start talking about a dome. I think there's other things that need to be addressed, need to be shored up. Put something in there where you're trying to keep things, marching towards that solution, if that's something that you guys, if they could ever consider, and keep that there to where you don't put it in a detriment, to where you're taking it out of scope eventually. But for now, get other things fixed up. That's huge. It's huge to the experience for the if Trev is what he's in his mindset of what he thought about with the spring game, if he's still thinking that for the fan, go ahead and think about that as a fan attending a game on Saturday.
Hey, Brian, we just left a discussion just a second ago, and we're talking about players and transfers, and both in the men's and the both football and basketball, with how our trend usually is they do not go to an equal or better outside of a few examples like your Hausmans and just other instances like that, right? What's your thoughts with regards to transfers? Why do they are we doing not a good job? Do we need to do a better job? Is it only that we're seeking a certain type of player that, a lot of other universities and conferences, when they transfer, they go to better schools or higher schools? Is that a problem that we have that we need to address, or do we just need to allow it to play out in the Rule Dynasty?
Wow. That's such a great question. I planned on mentioning something about Richard Torres, and my 3 and out section on Wednesday was him landing in Incarnate Word. Incarnate Word on the surface doesn't sound like a great landing spot. He gets closer to home. They have had relative success to their level of competition. It's not D1. It's not Big Ten. It's not any of that. It's just, it kind of is what it is. And Torres's limitations, basically really kind of start out, to me anyway, is that Nebraska had a very, very good quarterback room when they got into the year. And you're catching me pre-research here. So I'm going to kind of skip around here and do some basically play the pronoun game with you a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be non-specific with some things, but the year that he was being recruited, they had some freedoms, they had some luxuries, they had a good quarterback room, and they had some dudes behind, Martinez, and they could do some things to where they could go out there and they could maybe take a risk. Maybe they could take a guy that didn't look like the other players that were in the room. And that's kind of where the whole thought was around Torres. Torres kind of popped up that was like that. And unfortunately, I think, he's a guy that he can throw the ball 50, 60 yards easy. Saw him warm up in San Antonio that night when I watched him play. An incredible arm talent through the roof. Just not a mobile guy. And despite him being a very good basketball player, not a mobile guy. Guys like Thompson, though, I think you're relatively cut short because the solution has, a very limited amount of time to run. You're getting one season, you're getting a guy in, you get the summer, you get the fall, and the guy is out. But he's got an incredible list of tools and weapons that he can kind of bring in there. You just got to get him in and get him figured into the system and integrate it in quickly. But for the other guys that kind of left out, there's not been a great production guy with a ton of eligibility left to kind of go along with it until you get to Hausman. I think Hausman, as we watched last season go on, his stock just continued to increase week over week. He would make a small error one week. You wouldn't see him make that same mistake twice. And he was a guy that was consistently improving. So when I think about that, and still, like I said, last week with you guys, in terms of like the transfers, I still put Hausman at the top, despite the production that Casey Thompson had, with other players around him and in the offense. I just felt like the trajectory that was there for Hausman is really going to be tough for people to kind of keep up with. He can get there, and he's going to obviously another great situation where he'll get featured in that defense. So I think you have guys that haven't had a lot of success, haven't had tremendous development, and don't have a lot of production value to kind of go along with it. And then you get a guy that does, like Casey Thompson, and you have limited eligibility. I think each one of these things is kind of ICB, but I think one guy like Torres is way easier to kind of explain than every one of those other guys, like Lamonte Brown, all those other guys. You guys kind of break down. I mean, we haven't seen yet. I don't think AJ Allen has landed anywhere quite yet, right?
Not that we've heard now.
So I think a guy like AJ has a lot of potential. Although statistically last year, just a couple hundred yards rushing. But again, great trajectory. Not same as Hausman, but great trajectory on him too. He'll land someplace, and it'll be a good situation, possible ACC, SEC type of scenario or Big 12 type of scenario. So, but that could be the other big guy to kind of have left to go along with Hausman. But lots of talent, lots of potential, and a lot of eligibility.
Brian, I know if we do this individually, we can probably find a reason, but kind of generally speaking to that point, I'm looking at the wide receiver room where Nebraska's had some questions. They've benefited from guys transferring in the form of Samori Toure and Trey Palmer the last year. But I think about the high school recruits that Nebraska has brought in, especially from the state of Florida, never really panned out. And you haven't heard about a lot of those guys, even the California, Calabrasca class, didn't hear a lot about those guys. Is there something Nebraska is doing wrong or not doing right with the wide receiver position in development, or does it come to recruiting? Because to me, if other programs are looking at these guys out of high school, but not looking at them again out of college when they haven't played for a year or two, that tells me Nebraska might just be swinging and missing in recruiting, not fully development.
Well, I do feel like there was probably something that was off, when it came to the evaluation that was there while Scott Frost was the head coach, and you went through multiple wide receiver coaches. Those, right. I mean, how many were there? Three wide receiver coaches.
Walters, Lubick, and Joseph.
Yeah. So I mean, you had a different set of eyes basically on the guys that were trying to recruit. Basically every other year that Scott Frost was there. So I feel like that can set up and really create some incredible inconsistencies, even with guys inheriting talent. And you get to that point of they're not my guy. That you've got that mindset that you didn't recruit that guy. You're not connected to that guy. You're connected to other guys that are on your board. You want to bring in other guys and kind of get the other players through and processed or whatever it is you want to kind of say. You want to get onto your guys and feeling better about your room. And Nebraska did it 3 times in 5 years. That's a tough thing to kind of have to talk about, because I think really those guys got to be like in year 3 when you start feeling really good about what's kind of going on. You saw some really good talent, come in, Betts and Palmer, and you got some guys that could come in and play right away and do some big things. But I think ultimately, to your point, there were a lot of guys that, probably were even ranked fairly significantly and just never really developed and never really became that guy. But I think that those are the guys that really got lost within the cracks of the transfer, the change in the position coach, and sometimes in the offensive coordinator as well, because it just seemed like that guy just doesn't figure into this situation. I know, like last year, like when you start talking about how the personnel is supposed to work out, then all of a sudden we're talking about Omar Manning as a slot, as a 6'4", 230-pound slot. Like what? Like it just doesn't seem to kind of go hand in hand with things that kind of feel about, how that guy is supposed to look, shape-wise, height-wise, speed-wise. So I feel like a lot of it has to do with the changes, but they were certainly off on a number of their evaluations, and it just got completely and totally, utterly exposed, even worse as things kind of went on, and the rest of the guys got kind of passed over because they weren't the right coaches. They weren't the coaches' guys.
Talking with Brian Munson of Husker Online here. And Brian, one bit of recent news I want to ask you about before we let you go. I was reading up on what you wrote about Keelan Smith, the latest commit for Nebraska football. Fascinating recruiting story. Seems like he's an interesting player to watch. But which to you is more important, that Nebraska got Keelan Smith, the son of a Nebraska legacy, or that Nebraska got Keelan Smith out of Kansas City?
Ooh, boy, that's a tough question. I'm going to go with the first. I'm going to go with that they got the Husker legacy. Here's why I say that. I think the previous staff could have gotten lost, and they could have overthunk this one. They could have overthunk it based on where they're at with the class currently. Adding a 6th guy, this early in the process before you get into your official visits. Is it really what you want to do? Do you have a definitive position for a guy like that? I really feel like the previous staff could have overthought bringing Smith in at this point right now in the 2024 class. And that would have cost them. It would have cost them Smith's commitment. And I think it just ultimately, it would have been another bad look. I mean, you already have Burrow kind of hanging over your head at that point, with Scott Frost. And that one certainly has been beat like a dead horse. I mean, let that one kind of go. But I feel like this is another one of those situations where they just could have let their thoughts get in the way here, thought long and thought wrong, and they would have missed out on the opportunity to bring in a guy from Kansas City. They would have missed out on bringing a guy in whose dad got 100 career sacks in the NFL and is one of the best players ever to play at the University of Nebraska. And he's a tremendous athlete that could play on either side of the football. So, yeah, I think it's the first.
That's not to say Kansas City isn't important, though, right? I've been hearing more and more out of Kansas City that there are players down there. Is it good that Nebraska's back in there?
Oh, totally. I mean, I know that people are excited about the presence that Nebraska has in California this year, and people are feeling good about still being effective in Florida and what they're doing in Texas, obviously. But you can't give up on KC. In fact, you got to keep knocking on the doors in St. Louis. You got to keep being effective in that 500-mile radius, regardless of whatever else you got building pipeline-wise into the other schools and other parts of the country this year.
That's Brian Munson of Husker Online with us every Monday here at 3:30 on the block. Brian, appreciate your insight as always on recruiting, also stadiums and everything like that. We'll hope to catch up again with some more recruiting news next week, my man.
Sounds good. Later, guys.
Once again, Brian Munson bringing the goods as he does every week.
Good stuff. Hey, but we took it to him today. We didn't give him just a lot of softballs.
That was gas.
We was throwing gas down there. He had to swing, so he did. He hit the ball well. Yeah,
that he did. We'll wrap up on the block with the old school crew next year on 93.7 The Ticket. Not sure who's in. Strick and I will be here. We'll see who wants to join. We'll put a bow on the block next.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit, and you can check out our spaces both in person with a virtual an opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Some kids worry about making the sports team. Others worry about where they'll sleep tonight. In Lincoln, 300 kids are in need of a safe and loving home. Cedars is here for them, but we do need your help. A gift to Cedars makes an immediate impact on Lincoln's kids. And on Give to Lincoln Day, your gift goes even further. I'm Jim Blue, president of the Cedars organization, and I'm asking you to go to givetolincoln.com to make your gift to Cedars and support Lincoln's kids today.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher, Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professional.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dan has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
They're on the cusp of probably major announcements. Trev, Albert, CAD will ask for $250 million in that range. Now, add 70 maybe and put a roof on it.
Who would get to run the button that retracts the roof and does it?
Do you think it should be is Bill's idea? Bill gets to do the first.
Here's what I thought. I just always thought it'd be a cool thing to have, the retractable roof.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks all over it. Don't be that guy. Get it upgraded and repaired at Renew Your Auto. At Renew Your Auto, they offer tons of services: ceramic coating, window tinting, paintless dent repair, washes and details, bed liners, body shop, and more. Where can you go to get services like that all in one place? Schedule your appointment today at renewyourauto.com. See what Renew can do for you.
It's springtime, and you know what that means. It's sandal season at Brown Shoe Fit. To celebrate the start of the season, we're offering $10 off sandals under $105. Sandals $110 or more, now through May 14th. Enjoy brands like Atrex, Teva, Clarks, Taos, Keen, and many more on sale now. This deal won't last long, so come on down to Brown Shoe Fit for our spring sandal sale. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. Brown Shoe Fit Lincoln, 66 NQ.
This is Jay Foreman. I wore gear to protect my health on the football field, and I'm protecting it and up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Get up to date while it's still free and stay protected. Learn more at healthylincoln.org.
This Mother's Day, prepare an incredible meal for her without all the dishes with the Venue Mother's Day to-go meals. Prepared fresh in-house by our chefs, these meals are ready to heat and eat with packages for 2 to 4 people or 6 to 8. And your choice of juicy beef tenderloin, herb roasted chicken, pork tenderloin, or our famous 6-pepper crusted prime rib. All meal packages come with sides, and we have many add-ons available to complete your feast. Order today at venuedelivered.com/Mother's Day. That's venuedelivered.com/Mother's Day.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center. 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the block, wrapping it up on your Monday. Joined by the coaches. Coach Kenny, how you doing?
All right, you?
Doing great. Coach Jay, how was KC?
It was hot, boy. It was hot, but it was good though. It was good competition. It was heated, right? Hy-Vee Arena. It was on like a butter pop. It was on like neck bone. It was on.
You were gonna say butter popcorn. Is neck bone the next level?
Neck bone is on like a greasy pot of neck bones and some rice.
Well, that's
neck.
Jay, I didn't know you knew about that. I mean, I know you. I know
why? Because I'm light skinned.
No,
just say it.
Hold on.
No, just
no.
Minnesota.
Stop saying you're light skinned. You're not.
You are
light-skinned.
not light skinned.
But that's the way he approached it.
No,
though.
You're not
saying,
light skinned.
I know. I ain't high yellow. I'm a little light.
You like
why?
to dip. You like to dip in the lakes of Minnetonka on the regular. Prince style. No, I didn't know y'all do it. I didn't know y'all do it like that up in Minnesota. I just didn't know. I'm from Alabama. I just didn't know.
You from Omaha. You ain't from Alabama.
Oh, get that man. Get that
you
man,
ain't from
Jay.
Alabama.
I'm from Alabama.
We talked about this last week.
He
We
tried
talked
to-
about this.
Strict.
Listen,
Hold on. You were born in
I was
Alabama.
born in Alabama.
How many years were you there?
I grew up until I was about 7.
You're from Omaha.
No. Regardless of where you were born,
Okay.
Wherever you do your adolescence is where you're from. I think.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
How do you know I did my adolescence in
Because
Minneapolis?
you told me. You
No,
said
I
you
did
played
not.
high school. You went to junior high and high school in
I
Minnesota.
went to 8th grade in high.
There you go. Adolescence.
Okay. And where did you go in 8th grade?
Right here.
Oh, so you're from Omaha.
That's
So
why I
you're from
say
Omaha.
You just said you were from Alabama. No, you didn't. You
I
said
was
you
born
He said
in
he was
Alabama.
born in Alabama.
You said you were from Alabama. You do it. You
I
do
said
about
I was born in Alabama.
No, that's not what he. Is that what he said?
Okay, maybe I.
He said so.
I
He
Yeah,
said
you
both.
just was popping off at the mouth like usual.
But regardless, I would be regularly down in the South. Grandma cooked neck
Right.
bones, hog maw,
Right.
all that
See,
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know.
You think I ain't got no down south in me? That's what you think?
I'm just
Yeah.
asking.
Don't
That
let
was
the
a
light skin
question.
fool you. I will tear you out the frame, just like I told your boy. Do not come over here half stepping,
You light skinned, bro.
because I will rock the mic quickly.
He is not light skinned.
I was 0 to 100, quick,
Real quick.
Yeah, Meridian, Mississippi style. That's deep south.
Oh, that's
Oh
where,
yeah,
okay.
exactly. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we eating it, neck bones.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
you
and
do.
chitlins. Yeah,
Nah,
on the
I
regular.
can't do that. Nah,
Yeah.
I
I stopped eating those when I was about 12.
I
I
can't
ain't
do
eating
it.
them. I'm gonna eat them. They're a delicacy.
You
It's
still
on.
eat them?
I can't.
Jay,
do
you
it.
still eat them?
Oh yeah.
The minute mom start cooking them, it's a wrap. I'm out the door.
I stopped eating when I was 12.
Yeah, no bueno.
Anyway, Strick, let's get back on par, man. Since you disrespecting everybody, what's popping?
Nah. It's all love.
You seen what happened? You seen?
Yeah,
Bron?
Golden State got them. They back broke out.
Yeah. What you
Yeah.
think about that?
I was impressed. I got to be honest and say I was impressed. I didn't think they would do it. I was really
The Lakers did what they're
impressed.
supposed to do at home.
Are you
I was
more
impressed.
impressed with what the Lakers did because they were supposed to do it, or are you more impressed with Phoenix with Chris Paul out, with KD and
Both going for 36.
and Devin Booker doing just coming action?
I said that too, and then I did have to acknowledge that Jokic is that guy.
Oh, you didn't know?
I mean, I did know, but I'm just saying, the stuff he did in the clinic he put on, I still think basketball in this playoffs is a matchup thing. I would say I'm probably more impressed with Phoenix because I actually thought they was out the door. I thought they were done easy. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, you got.
Let's pause 10 seconds. We'll get back to it.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket.
Yeah, Shamit was big for them.
The bench came through.
The bench.
for them last night.
Yeah, because Cameron Payne, he's not really known
Nope.
for that. I mean, he's
How
a
he-
microwave dude, but he just can't really. He's not a stroker.
He disrespect the left hand jumper. You see that jumper?
Oh, it's ugly.
That's
It's one of the ugliest things.
that's the
I've seen.
opposite clinic jump shot. That's like a sidewinder.
It is.
Who I was impressed with in the changing of their form, but just can't get healthy again, was Lamar Ball. I mean, not Lamar, but
LeVar.
No.
LaMelo.
No. The first one.
Who cares?
The first ball.
Alonzo.
When he used his jumper, that thing was trash.
Yeah.
But then he actually worked it out. I was actually impressed.
He's
that he,
pretty good at
yeah,
Chicago.
yeah.
But he just seems like them knees.
Yeah,
all them
them
AAU
big baller
games.
brute, no, them big baller brand shoes he
You
was
think
wearing.
that was
blew
it?
him out.
Them Timberlands?
I think them big baller brands blew him out.
Timberlands.
Them things. They
They
said
heavy.
them things is heavy.
Heavy.
No lift. That's why he couldn't dunk. He just be laying up.
Yeah, it was heavy.
Booker's assassin.
Booker is cold-blooded.
Cold gangster.
He put on a clinic. And it looked easy.
Yes.
Like effortless
Yes.
work he put in.
Strick and I were talking about that. Is he a superstar?
Yeah.
I'm on y'all.
Yes.
I say
yeah,
he
that's
is.
not it without a
Yes.
question.
I say most superstars go for their face. And it's on after the fall on his face was definitely just not being able to get through the bad boys. Early career, just, you ran up against a juggernaut with 4 freaking Hall of Famers on the team. I mean, beating the Boston Celtics team was just in that early with everybody on the cocaine train. On his team, most of the let's be real, it's been talked about. All them cats was on the train early, all them cats, and they got out.
Man.
I mean, it's already talked about.
Yeah,
I ain't say no names. I just said a lot of those
People
guys.
on Google right now.
So a lot of superstars, to include Shaq, got embarrassed down there in Orlando.
The dream.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody, if you're a superstar, it's what you do. Kobe had his Utah moment when he was shooting the air balls and ended up losing the series for them. Everybody bound. And I think Booker's in his face was when it came down to the big time in that
Milwaukee.
In the Milwaukee series, he fell on his face, and I think he's emerging now as a big time.
Do you consider, because there's somebody that's not even on a close as good as team that reminds me of Booker. Probably never had a chance to fail because this team has always been garbage. Beal. I view him.
I feel bad for him. I think Bradley and Lillard's on that same.
Right. But Damian Lillard's had his big moments. He's been to the playoffs more.
Yeah.
Whereas Bradley Beal is Booker's. But Brad will light your life up like a Christmas tree, and he'll bam.
St. Louis kid, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's got that thing with him. I just don't know if
he won't, but he's loyal to the.
He's very loyal.
Yeah, I think his time is gonna end up passing him ultimately.
Yeah, because he end up going to a team when he be too old.
Too old,
yeah.
just like John Wall.
Yeah. I personally thought I thought John Wall was not necessarily that, but I thought he was a tremendous player. I don't think he was superstar status to me. I thought he was a tremendous player. Same as like Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas to me was a tremendous
Scoring
player.
machine.
Gilbert Arenas said this. He said,
"Bang bang."
One of the things that is, I think every player has the potential to be a superstar, and I really mean that. Sometimes it's by chance that you end up getting in a situation to where you can emerge into it. But then it's also by way of pay. And he said and him and Al Harrington was talking about it. And Al was saying, you could be killing a guy on the team millions a year, murdering him in practice, making $400,000. You're just not going to get off that chair unless injury happens, because they're going to go with the until his contract is extended. You're not still around and you're not able to hold on and wait it out. Your contract ends probably before his does. You have trouble kind of emerging the ladder.
Are we going to see more of that in college with NIL?
You already see it right now, right here in Lincoln.
I think you see it.
You see it in here in Lincoln.
I think you see it, but I also think that at the top tier positions, your skill positions, your quarterbacks, your wide receivers, probably your running backs, I think they can be usurped, i.e. what happened with Caleb Williams down there with Rattler in Oklahoma. He was making way more NIL money than Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams stole the show. I think at those skill positions, you can be usurped.
Yeah, and Spencer Rattler was the number one quarterback, and so they gave him a little bit of runway, and you like to have Caleb Williams in there. But I think when push came to shove, and after that Nebraska game with Rattler, his seat became extremely hot, and it lets you know that their coach has no loyalty to quarterbacks. Now that's a good thing because he always has quarterbacks that he can go and get
grab from,
right in the right.
Yeah.
But what it isn't going to be able to do is be sustainable if you go through a drought.
Right.
Now, where teams were running it, well, you can do that and USC, you're winning Heisman's, Ohio State. Ryan Day doesn't do that, but just you can't. Looking back, think Harbaugh did a first-round pick in Milton, who's at Tennessee, that backed up what should have been a first-round pick. All for Cade McNamara. That's in Iowa, and he pushed McNamara out for JJ. So you got to think he's pretty much he went all in, hit. You gonna bust sooner or later, and so you got to make sure certain positions you can't do that because continuity is key. But you've seen it some around here.
Yeah,
you see some guys that can't play dead out there playing. There's a lot of guys faking, but you see it sometimes.
Would you say you saw that with Mathis last year? Was it? Because he probably.
I think he was playing a little bit out of position. Maybe.
You thought he was out of position? He should have probably been a linebacker.
Nah, he needs to be out there on a 20 technique rushing. A 9 technique is what everybody else plays. You put him out wide and go do stuff. I don't know how much he was really in tune to watching that up there. This bit here and the portal, where that doesn't mean when you come here to Lancaster County that you're going to be good, because this is a different and that's everything.
Yeah,
basketball, football, administration. It's different.
Well said. That's on the other side. That's us. That's the end of us. Old School is going to be taking over. Jay and Kenny Wilhite. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 2 to 4. Peace.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. It offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else. Open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats.